there is a very real connection between what we are studying here in Chod De'oth and what we see here in Chod Eiduth. It's also interesting to note that the letters De'oth and Eiduth are the same letters. I'm not sure that's it can be described as some supernatural indication, but it is interesting to note. The concept of Eiduth in the Torah is very different from what is understood by most people nowadays. For example, Rambam begins this perek by saying, Misha eno lo b'mikra, lo b'mishnah, lo b'derech eres. A person who is completely bereft of Torah, has never learned anything, knows nothing, and is not even an upstanding citizen in the most basic sense. Hareze behezkat rasha. We assume that such a person is a rasha. Rasha meaning that he cannot be trusted. You cannot take his word at face value. Keep in mind that the Torah definition of rasha is a person who deliberately transgresses any of the mitzvot lo ta'aseh of the Torah. And that's a fairly high bar. So when can you assume that a person is not a rasha? When you know that he is rooted in the Torah, then he has a hezkat kashrut. Then he has. We can assume that he is such a person, unless we know otherwise. But a person who we know that he is not connected to the Torah at all, to the teachings of the Torah, and therefore his base instincts have not been tempered. He has not been refined by the Torah. Then you should assume the opposite. There is the Heskat Rasha. Ufasul la'idud medivrayhem, and such a person, medivrei suffering, is pasul to give any testimony in Beth Din, for example. Why? It says, Rambam says, Shekol misha yarad al ka'acha, a person who has achieved such a lowly level, so to speak, a person who is so completely disconnected from the Torah. Hazakah shehu over rov ha'pirot shevo liyado. The hazakah is the opposite. The assumption must be that he does transgress in many areas of life as they come his way. That is the reasonable and correct assumption. Rambam goes on to say in Halacha Daled, oh hey, V'chen habezuim, people who are to be looked upon with as dishonorable, without cannot be respected. For example, Rambam says, "Pasulim la'idut medivrahim." Such people cannot be trusted as edim. Wahem ha'anashim sheholechim va'ochelim bashuk lifnei kol ha'am. People who eat in front of whoever it may be, wherever they are. All such as, so either those who eat wherever they happen to be, if they buy some pizza and they walk down the street eating it, for example, that is considered a person who is bazui, a person who is not to be trusted, because they have no self-respect, and therefore, who's to say they have enough self-respect to be upright and speak the truth only, and not embellish what they say, etc. So, the word shuk doesn't necessarily mean a marketplace. It means public thoroughfare. Or such as those who walk about naked, literally, but it doesn't mean literally completely naked. It means people, for example, who walk around without a shirt, shall we say. Nowadays, I think perhaps you can find many examples of people wearing much less than just not going with a shirt. But people, when would people do this? When they're working and it's hot and they're working outside, whatever, and they strip down to a bare minimum. But they do this in a public place. This is something that only a lonely person would do, because again they have no concept of honor, of respect, of propriety. People who have no boshet, who have no shame. So a person without shame is the opposite of a Talmid Chachamim. Shekol elu hashuvim kechelev. Such people are considered like a dog, quite literally. And therefore, there is no reason why they should have any qualms about giving either entirely false or at least very imprecise testimony in Beth Din. Why would they not do so, especially if they had some interest, some self-interest, even without being bribed, shall we say, because they like this person or what have you. So the word of such a person is of no value. So says Rambam Ilchot Eduth.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.